Welcome back, it's great to have you here. Today we're continuing the ER pads. I definitely want to test those out for all of us as well. Certain surfaces are ideal for using ER pads effectively. The roof offers ample space and the trunk has a spot for optimal work. Smaller polishing pads require stable foam to maintain performance over time. We will test if CHEMICALWORKZ pads remain stable at a smaller size, which would be promising for even smaller pads. So the smaller the pad, the less foam, the smaller the body, the less opportunity the foam has to support its structure. That means we're now going down a notch to 75 and seeing if the CHEMICALWORKZ pads are just as stable when they're a bit smaller, because that's a good sign, a good omen for the even smaller pads that are coming. Because as you know, those really small pads that are currently on the market can't really be compared to an ER in terms of strength. So I'm really curious to see what the future holds. Now, the ER, let's go have fun. So here are all the pads ready. You can see these are the used ones from the last video. I'm intentionally letting the polish dry here, doing it the way you shouldn't. This is for a later video where we have massively dried polish here, and I want to see together how well it can be cleaned out. That's why we're building up a tough case here. And you can already see our 3-tier tower in gray, blue, and black. And now we're going to work with those. You've already seen how to process them in other videos. Absolutely top-notch. So, the quality here is also top-notch, and so far, I'm really satisfied. I really like it a lot. They really put something great together here. Let's take a look. Let's go. So, this is the surface we're going to work on now. So, don't be shocked, but this is how it can look. I hope your vehicle doesn't have a paint condition like this right now. You can also see here that the scratches are really severe. And there's absolutely no shine left in the surface at all. It's really completely ruined in both ways, both in terms of scratches and clarity, and we want to polish that together now with the ER pad. I've set up my little setup, and you can already see it's very minimalist. I have the small version of that one here, with the ER Plate H Klinet to a fat one. And I've brought a bit of variety here, with the Otis and the Lille from Labo Cosmetica, and we have the pads up here, 1,000. I would clearly say, let's just see how much the medium pad can already achieve here. And I've brought a bit of variety here, with the Otis and the Lille from Labo Cosmetica, and we have the pads up here, 1,000. I would definitely say let's just see how much the medium pad can already achieve here. Together with the Lille, it should be just right on the surface to see if that's enough or if we need a stronger one, or if the two are a great combination. You need a good cut from the polish and a firm, stable medium pad to achieve as much as possible. We'll try that out now, and I'll give you tips on taping as it's a guide with what I'm doing here. Especially at the E, you can see this sealing lip at the back, and we don't want to damage that. And we're just going to try that out now. And I'll give you a few tips on taping with this because it's always a bit of a guide for what I'm doing here for you. So here, especially at the E, you can see this sealing lip at the back, and we definitely don't want to damage that. You can see that it has definitely suffered over the years, but it's definitely not frayed or cracked or anything like that. And that's why I want to preserve it, even if it looks a bit worn out over here. But that's just how it is with old cars. And we're just going to tape off part of it. And that's why we're going to tape along the edge nicely here to protect this surface. You also have to tape off a slight curve with the tape, but that's doable. As long as it doesn't involve a 90-degree angle, you can actually protect a lot with tape here. We use the 9 there. We're taking the medium cut pad, smoothing it out here. And the nice thing is, because of its high stability, you don't bend the pad when you pull it off. So I think I've noticed this before. When you pull off a pad, it smooths out at the back, and on the other side, you've already bent it. Here, when you pull it off, it's, let's say, a block. You can clearly see again that it has a lot of stability. So that's why I do this 2 or 3 times just to show you. So now we're taking the Lille in hand, shaking up the polish again, and putting a bit on the pad. Whether you make a circle here like this, you might see it better if I make 3 dots or a circle. I used to like making little dots and then spreading it out. Do it however you like. The main thing is that you have a nice even distribution in the end. So then cable over the shoulder. Let's start at level 1 and distribute it nicely so that it spreads into the pad and also evenly on the surface. So now we're starting with the test spot and the Lille and the medium cut pad. We're doing this whole thing at double speed to save you some time and make it more compact. You can also see here how I gradually increase the speed to work it a bit. This way, you can also check if the polish is splattering around or anything like that. Just kind of feel your way into it. And then I go to maximum level and control everything with speed and pressure. You can see here that I'm also going pretty close over the edge. That just looks fast, but remember, that's double speed. Don't press down on it like a heavy cut pad. If it's not enough, switch to a stronger pad. It's creating shine. So don't press down on it like it's a heavy cut pad, obviously. If you notice it's just not enough, then switch to a stronger pad. But you can see here, it's already creating a very nice shine. So all those haze spots that were on there before are coming off nicely. But you can still see one or two scratches a bit through the light. Medium combo results. Don't overuse the pad. Move to the next level if scratches persist due to significant paint damage. So don't torture the pad to death. Really pay attention to that and just move on to the next stronger level because we already had a pretty significant paint damage in this case. It spread nicely in the pad as well, so evenly, even though we only did 3 spots. Actually, we don't need a degreaser for this small test spot because there are no waxes, fillers, or silicone content in the Lille. We can also use a filler in the morning. Silicone free, but I know you out there. I'll just spray a little bit of this on here. So, we already have some serious paint damage here. And you'll see that in just a moment. And medium polish, medium pad. Let's see how much this has already been able to move. And there we have such a nice division again, and that is always exciting for you. To see this development, how do the different strengths and polishes differ? So, I think you can already see that this has worked really, really well. But if we go into the details again, and also work with the SCANGRIP, we can clearly see the edges again. But look, that already looks pretty good. Sure, up here at the edges. Up here, there's a bit missing from the tape. You always leave a little space. But we still have a few small things to do. But it's really coming along. Look, here's the difference from before again. That's just, wow. But there's still more to do, right? I want that. I want to get rid of these very small, fine things here. Look, I still want to get rid of these tiny little things. Okay, let's just do it. We're going this area with the grey pad, test it in the ER measure. We're using heavy cut polish with the pad to see its effect. Repeating this at the second spot with Audacious and heavy cut pad in grey. And here we're using heavy cut polish along with the pad and seeing what effect that has. So we're doing the same thing now at the second spot with the Audacious and the heavy cut pad in grey. Also, this area is very, very small, so I've lowered the polishing speed a bit. Also, this is again in double time lapse. And you can see here I'm gradually increasing the speed because on such a small area, the polish can fly around a bit, especially if you've applied too much. So, just a tip for you, again, the same approach here. I went over it evenly, didn't make unnecessary passes, but really kept it nice and even, and then also targeted the edges, and it actually worked out well. So this is just a tip for you. Again, the same approach here. I went over it evenly, didn't make unnecessary passes, but really kept it nice and even, and then also targeted the edges, and it actually worked out well. And you can see here, it works really, really well with this one, and it's absolutely great. It's a beginner machine, so it definitely gives great results. That's more than enough. You also saw I lowered the polish. And I'm checking in with you through the picture. So from my side, that's really amazing. So, you can take everything off. You can see it wonderfully. You can really see it nicely from the side. So, keep in mind the car is now really slowly heading towards kilometers. And of course we also have stone chips here, and there's a bit of paint missing. A stone has also flown onto it. So, really, really nice shine here. For all the perfectionists, we're doing a paint cleaning again, even though it doesn't make a difference at this point. No matter. We'll just do it anyway. Wow. Beautiful. Blue. All done. You can see there's minimal dust formation, just tiny bit. The area is also very small. It still has a good temperature. So normally, you would spread it over a larger area, and here you really need to polish for a much shorter time on such a small mini area, and also move the machine a bit faster, because the heat builds up really quickly. That makes sense. So really be careful here, and don't stay on this small spot for 3 minutes. Here it's right, she can still warm her hands on it, so it really goes quickly. I'll bring you right along. Let's take a look from above while also having the SCANGRIP handy. So, where's the light reflection? Where is it? Where is it? Let's take the lamp along as well. So, hope it's visible. We still have some slight defects here on the medium cut side. And now I'm going to try to film this. There are no paint damages here, as I just told you. But take a look. what kind of finish this is. I just took care of everything here in one step with the heavy cut pad and the compound polish. And you don't have any haze in there. It's really amazing how far these products have come nowadays. And if you work them on such a small area for a relatively long time, you can really get a nice finish with them. It's really super, super good. And here too, we can take a look up to the edge. Take a look up to the edge. Here we have a very slight transition. Take a look, and that's what I mean. We can still see all the little ones now. Look at the edges here. For that medium was just not enough. Now we can see it nicely here. The difference is not extreme. But if we go long here with the heavy cut topic, I think it looks significantly better. So here in the rear area, this combination would be exactly what I need. And you can also see here, look, there's a very slight color difference, just a tiny bit. So here, the rear area with this combination would be exactly what I need. And you can also see here, look, there's a very slight color difference, it's a tiny bit. Really nice, vibrant blue over here. It's just fun, it really is, guys. It's just super awesome. So that was the initial condition. Incredible. Dreamlike. Just for you again after that short sequence, after this brief waiting period. Look. The pad is still there. I'm going to say it's extremely hard. It's complete. You can move the whole car, but you have to be careful not to set off the alarm. But here, look, you can't do it too easily here. The car's already shaking a bit. So here, it's really top notch. Especially with the cut pad, it is extremely important. You don't just start pressing on a finishing pad like a madman to remove any scratches. The cut pads simply have to be hard enough, and they have to last for a long time. I will also make an extra video to show you the difference between the foam and the foams from 2024 now, because that is already the next generation. So, absolutely top. And now for the final conclusion. So also from the polytones, we've seen clearly again, and that's why each part of the video serves as a little guide alongside the testing topic. You can see here, I created the test spot with the Lille and the medium pad, and the shine is already looking really, really good. Well, we could have left it like that, but we still had some fine scratches. And before a medium pad gets overworked and overloaded even more, because eventually it will reach that point, just switch to the next stronger pad. In this case, that's the gray one. And before a medium pad gets overworked and overloaded even more, because eventually it will reach that point, just switch to the next stronger pad. And in this case, it's the gray one. And if you have, for example, on your paint, after such a heavy cut, depending on what kind of polish you have here, it might leave a slight haze that you create. It could very well be that the polish does that in your case. So just remember, first gray, then blue. So in this case, again, we're always back at the same point, removing scratches in 2 stages and creating shine. In our case now with the pair. So you can remember it like this. You did the whole thing in 1 step and achieved a perfect result. In our case now with the pair. So you can remember it like this. You did the whole thing in 1 step and achieved a perfect result. And that's just the testing procedure, and it goes really quickly. So let's create a test spot here. After 5 minutes, you should actually know where this is going, what combination they are using. The polishes are definitely recommended. I'll link it for you below. I always try to mix everything. So next surface is here as well. Let's take a look at a few things again in the near future. Soft, Labor Cosmetica, K-Pro, and everything else that's out there. I'm trying to be very flexible in the selection for you here. Thank you very much for watching. Pets thumbs up, Polyton thumbs up, and remember guys, we used the smallest machine again. The smallest machine? We didn't even bring out any heavy artillery here. This is the smallest one in the chemical work range. And what more do you want? It costs between 90 to 100 euros. And in the set, you get other things included, and you just make it nice. It can be that simple, and it's always fun to do. Until then, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and have fun with the next video. I'm also available anytime on WhatsApp. If you have any difficulties or questions about car care, always reachable. Until then, bye guys.